Hi, this is my review for John Carpenter's classic horror film from 1978, Halloween. So after 6-year-old Michael Myers murders his sister on Halloween night, he's held in a mental institution for 15 years and the night before Halloween manages to break out and go back to Haddonfield to kill again. So with it now being Halloween season and us just about to get the final concluding chapter of David Gordon Green's trilogy of Halloween films, I really wanted to go back and revisit the original one that brought us to where we are today. There's no doubt that this is one of the most iconic and talked about horror films ever made. The fact that next month when we get Halloween Ends, it's going to be the 13th film in the franchise, that many filmmakers have wanted to go back and reimagine and recreate this original film story so many times in so many different ways. It's just testament to what a brilliant script and how perfectly executed this film was by John Carpenter over 40 years ago now. So there definitely is something quite special about the film. The fact as well that this film was made on an extremely low budget, only a few $100,000, and just had a very, very simple script, a small crew working on the film with a limited time span to have it done. The fact it was just executed so perfectly has really made this a film that has been remembered for so many years. You know, a lot of the techniques he used in this film, such as how each of the scenes were framed, those big open wide shots he used, that musical score is so effective with a lot of the scenes he chooses to use it in, and just the attention to detail in each of those scenes just makes this to be a very immersive experience, and it's a real masterclass in suspenseful filmmaking. And it just goes to show as well the importance of creativity in a film, and I think having a low budget forces filmmakers to think up more creative ways to handle a film script and each of the scenes. You know, when you think of a lot of modern films that come out that have hundreds and hundreds of millions just thrown at it for the newest technologies and CGI and having the big names on screen, whether they're giving a good performance or not, or just throwing effects galore in there, it can often still feel very lazy and uninspired because it's like they've tried to cover up any problems of the film using money. Whereas in a film like John Carpenter's Halloween, you can't cover up the cracks with money. This film works because it has a solid script, a complete focus, and a lot of heart and hard work has gone into each of the scenes in this film to make this overall really, really tight product. Something I really love about this film, the character of Michael Myers, or as they call him, the Shape, and just him being this character that is not motivated by anything human. You know, he's just like evil personified. You don't ever get an understanding of why he's doing what he is doing. He's just a boy who snaps out of nowhere, and his only motivation you ever see is to get out of this place and go back to Haddonfield to kill again, and you never find out why. And that makes the character a lot more scary. It's something I really hate about a lot of those later entries where they try and find ways to describe why Michael was the way he was, you know, through the cult control or being brought up in this horrible family, and it just takes away the scariness of a character like this. And this character as well is made so much better by having Donald Pleasence here as Dr. Sam Loomis. And this is a guy that you can see that he truly, truly fears Michael Myers, that he thinks that he should never, he's made it his life's mission to make sure this guy is never near another person again. And it's one of his motivation that drives him every day, is knowing that he is behind bars, locked away in this mental asylum, because he believes he's just way too dangerous to be around any person again ever. As well, I really like having a character like this in the story who's able to explain things about Michael Myers in a natural way. You know, because otherwise Michael Myers is just this crazy guy who's come back to Haddonfield and kills babysitters, and you wouldn't know anything else about him. But here they found a really good way to insert a great character who can deliver this dialogue to help you understand what kind of person Michael Myers is and why he is someone to be feared. You know, if I think of a film like It Chapter 2, where they had that character of Mike who was sort of brought in really suddenly and just throws out all this exposition as to who Pennywise was, why he's here, what he's doing, and it all just felt very, very clunky. Whereas here, it's delivered in a way that feels organic to the film and adds a lot to it, in my opinion. There's something as well I just really love about the scares in this film. You know, they're not like a lot of modern horror films or the techniques they use for scares where you can see them coming a mile away because they have those same techniques with, you know, the music, you know, a certain musical cue, the lights going down, and I feel like I can tell you exactly when it's going to hit. Whereas in Halloween, you can't. When Michael Myers appears or comes into a scene, it often really takes you back. It's almost like the way John Carpenter has the camera and the way he's filming the scene, you're focusing on something different in the room, and then this thing just kind of comes out like that and really throws you off. And I really love that about the film. I particularly like that scene as well where Laurie is running back over to the house that she's babysitting Tommy in, and it cuts between her banging on that door to the big open shot of the house over the road, and you can see Michael Myers slowly starting to walk over to her from the house, and it like takes a minute for your eyes to adjust to see him coming out of the shadows there, and it's just insane how much tension that scene creates from the way it's filmed, and it does just really give you that sense of like, shit, get inside now. You can really just feel that sense of urgency and panic in Laurie, and it's just a brilliantly orchestrated scene. There's a lot of subtleties here in Nick Castle's performance as the Shape as well, where usually when you see him he's very slow moving and thinking and just him breathing, all very effective scenes, and then when he's about to kill someone or he is killing someone, he goes into like a bit of a frenzy, and it just gives this character this really unsettling edge. And of course, Jamie Lee Curtis is really great in this film, especially in that final act where everything really kicks off. Like in that scene I mentioned earlier, when she's running back over from the house to the one she's babysitting in, and she's going crazy, banging, trying to get back in. You can really feel that sense of panic in her, and that she's genuinely terrified in this situation. She's just giving it absolutely everything in scenes like this, and it really makes you feel like you're there in that situation with her. If I had to say anything at all negative about the film, it's probably the portrayals of some of these other babysitters like Annie in the film, and the performances by the actresses. I think they just feel quite dated by today's standard, especially when you've got this character Annie where she's quite shallow, she doesn't really have any awareness of the things going on around her, and she's only obsessed with having her boyfriend over. She doesn't care about anything else at all, and they make her quite annoying in the way this is all happening. So it feels like early on the film is setting her up to be killed. You know, her and this other babysitter, you know they're going to be killed at some point in the film, and just the way Laurie is in comparison to them two, you know that she's going to be the one that survives to the end. And it's not necessarily something that takes me out of the film, it just does feel a little bit dated when watching it today. So my final thoughts are that this is an incredible horror film, and it's one that I watch pretty much every single year. Growing up, I always preferred Nightmare on Elm Street over Halloween, but I've noticed in recent years when I watch the two together, I do actually think this is a better film. It's one where you watch it in the right circumstance, you know, with the lights down, no distractions, and just letting yourself get completely immersed in the film. It's a really, really great experience, and a really top quality horror film that everybody should watch who is a fan of horror movies. And it's a film that's going to be talked about and remembered forever after in horror, there's no doubt about it. So I'm going to give this film a 4 out of 5 rating. So please comment below and let me know your thoughts on Halloween. And if you haven't seen Halloween, Please stop this video right now, go and watch Halloween, and then come back and let me know what you think of the film. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.